The church bells rang, but they sounded hollow, like a promise already broken. 8-year-old Lily stood in the parking lot, her tiny hand clutching a crumpled daisy, watching her mother's wedding unfold through a dusty window. It was supposed to be a day of joy, a celebration of love binding two families. Sarah, Lily's mother, had dreamed of this moment for years, a second chance at happiness after a bitter divorce. She met David at a community picnic, his charm disarming, his 4 children trailing behind him like a perfect postcard family. He was a widower, polished and confident, with a smile that made Sarah feel seen again. Their courtship was a whirlwind of shared laughter, late-night talks, and promises of a blended family. But as the wedding day loomed, a crack appeared in the fairy tale, one that Sarah couldn't ignore. Lily, with her wide brown eyes and unruly curls, was Sarah's world. She was a quiet child, thoughtful beyond her years, who drew pictures of her mom in a wedding dress and whispered dreams of being a flower girl. Sarah had assumed Lily would be part of the ceremony, scattering petals down the aisle, her laughter a bright note in the day's symphony. But David had other plans. "It's just not practical," he said one evening. His tone clipped as they sat at the kitchen table. His 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, ages 10 to 16, were sprawled across the living room, engrossed in their phones. "They've got roles. Michael's the ring bearer. Emma and Sophie are junior bridesmaids, and Jake's ushering. It's balanced. Lily, she doesn't fit." Sarah's heart sank. "Doesn't fit. She's my daughter. David. She's 8. She's been dreaming of this." David leaned back, his jaw tight. "It's not personal, Sarah. It's logistics. Too many kids in the ceremony looks chaotic. My kids have rehearsed their parts. Lily's too young to handle it, and we don't need a flower girl." The word stung like a slap. Sarah stared at him, searching for the man who'd promised to love them both. "She's not just some extra, David. She's my daughter." He sighed, rubbing his temples. "I get it, but this is our day. Let's not make it about drama. She can sit with the guests, maybe hand out programs. She'll be fine." "Fine." The word echoed in Sarah's mind as she tucked Lily into bed that night. Her daughter's small voice broke the silence. "Mommy, why can't I be in the wedding like David's kids?" Sarah's throat tightened. She brushed a curl from Lily's face, forcing a smile. "You'll be there, sweetheart. You'll look so pretty in your dress, cheering for Mommy." But Lily wasn't fooled. Her eyes, so much like her mother's, glistened with unshed tears. "They don't want me, do they?" Sarah wanted to scream that it wasn't true, that David loved her, that this was just a misunderstanding. But the truth gnawed at her. David's dismissal of Lily wasn't just about logistics, it was a line in the sand, a hierarchy where his children stood above hers. She lay awake that night, torn between her love for David and the fierce protectiveness she felt for her daughter. The days leading up to the wedding were a blur of fittings, rehearsals, and forced smiles. David's children were polite but distant, their eyes sliding over Lily like she was invisible. Emma, the eldest, smirked when Lily shyly offered her a drawing. "Cute," she said, tossing it onto the coffee table. Michael and Sophie ignored her entirely, while Jake, the quiet one, gave her a fleeting glance of pity before looking away. Sarah saw it all, her heart splintering with each slight. She tried to talk to David again, pleading for Lily to have a small role. Even just walking beside her, it would mean everything to her, Sarah said, her voice trembling. "She feels left out." David's patience snapped. "Sarah, stop. This isn't about Lily. It's about us. My kids lost their mom. They deserve this moment. Lily's young, she'll get over it." The words were a blade, cutting through Sarah's hope. She wanted to believe David was stressed, that he didn't mean it, but the truth was undeniable. He was choosing his children over hers. And in that choice, he was asking Sarah to do the same. The wedding day arrived, a perfect summer afternoon with a cloudless sky and a gentle breeze. The venue was a vision, white roses cascading over arches, golden light filtering through the trees. Guests milled about, their laughter filling the air. Sarah stood in her gown, radiant but hollow, her heart heavy with doubt. Lily, in a pale blue dress Sarah had bought her, clung to her side until David's sister, the wedding planner, gently ushered her to a seat in the back. "You'll have a great view from here," she said, her smile too bright. Lily nodded, her small hands twisting the daisy she'd picked from the garden that morning. As the music swelled and the ceremony began, Sarah walked down the aisle, her eyes flickering to the back row. Lily sat alone, her face pale, her eyes fixed on the ground. David's children moved with rehearsed grace, Michael carrying the rings, Emma and Sophie in their matching dresses, Jake guiding guests. They were a unit, a family within the family, and Lily was on the outside. Sarah's vows caught in her throat. "I promise to love and honor you," she said to David, but the words felt like a betrayal. How could she promise to love him when he'd pushed her daughter away? David's vows were smooth, heartfelt, but they rang hollow to Sarah. He spoke of family, of unity, but his actions told a different story. The reception was a blur of toasts and dancing, but Sarah's eyes kept finding Lily. Her daughter sat quietly at a table with Sarah's parents, picking at her food. When a slow song played, Lily slipped outside, unnoticed by most. Sarah followed, her heart pounding. She found Lily by a fountain, her dress stained with grass, her cheeks wet with tears. "I don't belong here." "Mommy," Lily whispered, "I'm not part of your new family." Sarah knelt, pulling her daughter into her arms. "You are my family, Lily, always, no matter what." "Then why didn't you make them let me?" Lily's voice was small but sharp, cutting through Sarah's defenses. She had no answer. The weight of her choices crashed over her, choosing David, hoping he'd change, believing love could bridge the gap. She'd been wrong. Love wasn't enough when it came at the cost of her daughter's heart. Sarah stood, wiping her tears, and took Lily's hand. "Come with me," she said, her voice steady for the first time that day. She led Lily back to the reception, straight to the center of the dance floor. The music paused, and guests turned, confused. David frowned, stepping forward. "Sarah, what's going on?" Sarah ignored him, kneeling to face Lily. "You are my daughter, and you belong here, more than anyone." She stood, addressing the crowd. "This wedding was supposed to be about family, but I made a mistake. I let someone tell me my daughter didn't have a place. I was wrong." Gasps rippled through the guests. David's face reddened. "Sarah, this isn't the time." "It's exactly the time," she snapped, her voice carrying a strength she hadn't felt in months. "Lily is my heart, and if she's not welcome, then neither am I." She took Lily's hand and walked out, leaving David stunned and the crowd murmuring. His children exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of shock and unease. Sarah didn't look back. The drive home was quiet, Lily's hand warm in hers. Sarah's heart ached, but it was lighter, unburdened by the weight of a choice that no longer felt right. She'd lost a fiance, but she'd gained something far more precious, the certainty that her daughter came first. At home, Lily curled up beside her daisy now tucked behind her ear. "Are you sad, Mommy?" she asked. Sarah smiled, brushing a tear from Lily's cheek. "A little, but I'm happy too, because I have you." They sat together, watching the stars through the window, the future uncertain but theirs to shape. Sarah knew the road ahead would be hard explaining to friends, facing David's anger, rebuilding their lives. But she also knew she'd made the right choice. Love wasn't about sacrifice, it was about protecting what mattered most. The story of Sarah and Lily isn't just about a wedding gone wrong, it's about the courage to stand up for those we love, even when it means walking away from what we thought we wanted. It's about the bonds that define us, the lines we draw, and the strength to choose what's right over what's easy. What do you think? Did Sarah make the right call? Was David's decision fair, or was it a betrayal of the family he promised to build? Share your thoughts on justice, loyalty, and the choices that shape our lives.